I welcome you back to Stockholm, Pelle. Welcome back. How does it feel to be home?
It's amazing to be home, see my friends back here again, and family and stuff.
What are you up to now that you're back home, and how long are you staying?
Just been taking some time off, relaxing, making sure my body's good, and then right now starting to get back into it, move around a little bit, have some fun with the basketball again.
So you've gotten a lot of praise for your jump shot this season, along with plenty of other stuff. But I would like to talk about your shooting. What has improved? What has changed? What are the points of emphasis for developing your jumper according to your training staff?
I think just efficiency is the big word that we've been talking about. I mean, I have the same coach that Duncan Robinson, Max Struz, all those guys, Gabe Vincent, been working with. So it's a lot about limiting unnecessary movements. So kind of finding your slot where the ball should start, and then just as straight as possible, as quick as possible to the rim. So kind of making sure I'm relaxed in the right spot to start with, and then just let it rip.
How much do you rep it, and where does it take place during season work or off-season work or during training camp?
Yeah, I mean, come practice time, we don't really have time for all that stuff. So a lot of the improvement, player development is early in the morning, before practice starts, before pre-practice. So it's a lot of reps, but kind of just more talking and talking through why we're doing stuff and trying to understand what's working and what's not and why that is.
So how much would it be during the morning? Like how many shots do you put up ahead of practice?
I wouldn't say it's that much. It's probably like we probably leave us like at least 30 minutes, but there's a lot of talking going on. So I'd say we probably get up like close to 200 shots.
And that's how many times throughout the week?
Mm, I mean, almost every day. Like it's kind of the routine. You get in the gym, except for days when you maybe had a tough game and you need some time off. But every time I'm practicing, probably get in a little bit before I get some shots.
If you would tell someone to construct or if you would construct a shooting protocol for someone ahead of practices or ahead of games, in forms of a routine or in the form of a in a technique development, what would you tell them to do?
Uh, I mean, I guess the tips I would have is, I mean, everyone's shot is different, so it's kind of hard to, coach it one way and have it work for everyone. But a big thing is just maintain your shoulder relaxed. Like if you're tensed up, your shot's gonna be different every time. If you're loose and comfortable, if you're relaxed in one position, trying to find that spot, and then just go as straight as fast as possible to the rim. And the faster you go, the more likely it is to be straight. So just try to find a comfortable spot where it starts in line with your shoulder, the basket, elbow, all that stuff. And then, yeah.
How does game time, being in an actual game, impact your ability to reproduce a basketball shot?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of work this season, in practice, outside of games, and where, my shot feels a certain way. And then when I get into the game, you don't really think about it. So it's important to get those types of reps where you're kind of just playing and seeing the result without thinking about it. Because sometimes when you're in the practice, you feel like you're working on your shot that much that you get into your own head, and then you start maybe thinking too much. So getting those game reps are really important.
How difficult is it to stay psychologically leveled when it's game time and just play through it versus repping for a while and then coming into a game and trying to, not get rattled by the moment?
I think for me it's easier to shoot in the game. I've always had more success shooting in the game. I'm not a guy that will shoot like 95% in a shooting workout. It's just never been that way. Uh, but when I get into game, I kind of just feel more comfortable. I know that it's not the only thing that's going to matter or the only thing that's going to impact the game. I do so much more than just shooting, so it's kind of just what it is, and I've worked on it so much that I just had to trust it.
What is the next step in terms of developing your shot? Is it more off the dribble now because it's been a lot of spot up this year?
No, I think it's more of the same in this near future. Kind of just getting more and more comfortable, more consistent, finding that same spot, making sure the rep is as similar as possible to, to the starting point that I want. And then obviously as I get more comfortable in that, people are going to start running you off the line and such. So then you need to be start working on, one dribble side step or coming off the screen if they go under, stuff like that. But right now, kind of just more of the same, trying to find that spot and make sure I'm comfortable.
Tack så jättemycket Pelle. Mycket bra jobbat.
I got one more question over here. What advice would you give to a young player who's trying to achieve like college or even NBA? What would be your like advice to these Nordic kids over here?
I mean, I think just not trying to force the path. Like a lot of guys have different ways to the league or to making money, doing this as a living. So not trying to force your way into a position that you might not be ready for. Like I stayed in Sweden whole high school when I could have maybe played in Europe somewhere and moved away from home. And then went to college and kind of went to a college where I knew I would play right away. So just taking your own steps at your own pace, trying to develop at your speed. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter like when you get there. It's just at what level can you ultimately get to, and then just have fun. I mean, that's the only reason we do it.